Alright guys, this is going to be a really shit commentary because I just can't be fucked. But yep, it's Belgium. I'm going to get a really good start from wherever I was, like 16th, because I had a quali ban, and it's going to put us immediately up to like 12th and 11th. And Harry's just going to squeeze that a bit there, so we're going to lose a place to him. Reese is going to come through, so I'm still thinking 13th is pretty decent after where we started. So we're just going to continue on with this one. This is probably one of the only two tracks I was targeting points at, and something has gone up ahead. Ira Hamilton has slowed down himself and Harry and the rest of the pack a lot. So me and Reese are literally just going to like go all the way through there. Back up to 11th. Going to go slightly wide, overtake Matiz's car who spun round. But Harry's going to go back up our inside, cut the corner, and keep that place. So then we're coming into Ravage, and he brakes, well, felt like he braked really early and slowed down way too much for the corner. So we've got a lot of damage on the front right. Little tap there as Hamilton, don't really know why he's trying to turn into me when I'm already sat on the apex, but he spins around, so that's his own fault. Jamie's going to go around my outside, not really going to bother with that one because damage. And at this point I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to pick this up. Look at the gap to the guys in front already. So this was literally just in lap from here on in. So 12th place, pitting on lap 1, hardly ideal, especially since I was started on the mediums, which meant the tyres I wanted to stretch really far into the race, I couldn't, which is shit. So it's all going on behind me as Jork has got past Commando, and probably going to start holding them up a little bit. Yep, so there's a massive train behind me of like 3 or 4 or 5 cars. But I'm going to pit on this lap anyway to get rid of this front wing, chuck a new one on. And yeah, quite cautious into the pit lane actually. But yep, so that's the end of lap 1. Down in 17th provisionally. There's 2 cars, I think Azar and don't know who else, but the 3 guys behind me all pitting as well. Oh, so that would have been Matiz, Azar Reactions, and Ira Hamilton, I think. Yeah. And there we go. Almost going to lose it out of the pit lane as well, which is pretty funny. Just going to knuckle down, get our chuck it into Rich, set some quick laps on softs. I think from here on in I was going to try and go soft to the end. I forget, this is like a week and a half late, I forget where that would have got me to the end. But anyway, as we can see, safety car deployed as I fiddle around with the volume on my TV, and need to get down to the delta. Don't really know what I'm doing. When the safety car comes out, I always go too quick. I underestimate how slow you have to go, especially when I'm not near any cars. And it's only about now I realise how close I am to getting a drive-through, and there we go, I get a drive-through. Which is the worst thing you want to get behind the safety car, because you can't serve it behind the safety car. But I suppose if you wanted to get a drive-through at any track, it would be here, because the pit lane loss is so low. So anyway, lap 6, end of lap 6. We're all fouled behind the leader. Safety car's coming in. He's like, safety car's just going into the pits now. And yeah, it's all a bit weird because we're all stuck behind Hamilton's ghost car. I'm not sure if we can overtake or not. And massive like clusterfuck of ghost cars and shit in the chicane. Me and Reese can go into pits because he got front wing damage, and I go into the pits to serve my drive through and get front wing damage as I go into the pits. So again, shit. But never mind. P19, 18th now. As we're going to pass Reese's car in the pits, and you could see on the minimap you got the first group of people that weren't held up behind Hamilton's car, and the second group that were. So yeah, that's that. And here we go, lap 7, and there's a yellow flag, and it's Jamie's car beach. We're going to go onto the grass to avoid him, get a warning, and then we're going to go deep because we're braking with grassy tyres. We're going to cut the chicane, go really slowly actually, and get a warning for corner cutting and get a 3-second time penalty. So in my opinion, 2 completely bullshit warnings right there. And nope, so yeah, the first one was because I was trying to avoid his car, which is fair enough. So that is like, shouldn't have been a warning. And then the second one was because I went deep because I went on the grass. and I still went really slow over the chicane. Still got a warning. But yep, that was me passing Ira Hamilton, who did some things on that part of the track, and going deep there to let Reese through because he was quicker and I had damage. And he was stuck behind me with slipstream glitch, so he couldn't actually get through. So now there's me and him on the back of Azar Reactions, and as you can see at this point, slipstream really not doing much at all. If anything, Reese is going to try and move up the inside of Azar Reactions, and I think Reese is just going to get on the curb and understeer into him, and that's going to chuck Reese round, which is a big shame for him. He was probably trying some sort of comeback drive. And that's that. Lap 14, heading into the pits now. This time not going to get any damage. And I forget whether they actually fix the damage in the pit lane or not. I'm not sure. No, they don't. So that means I'm going to keep that front right end plate damage, which I got going into the pits, for the rest of the race, which is brilliant because it's exactly the same as what happened in BPRL when we were here, and I know that it just hinders your speed so much because you're already running low enough wings. So trying to go through all the fast corners, there's a warning, there's a 3-second time penalty. Fair enough, that was a cut. But yeah, it just hinders yourself so much through left-handers and kind of right-handers as well, because it is just you compromise the setup so much for straight line speed that you already don't have enough downforce. So any fast corner you go through, which you're missing a end plate through, is absolute nightmare. So my times, as you can see, my best time is a 48.9 in the race so far. And back then was Commando getting his way past me. Pretty easy considering he could probably take about 10 miles an hour extra through Blanchimont. But going on to the final lap here, we are behind Harry and Hamilton's long ghosted car since he disconnected earlier on in the race. In 15th at the moment, so not quite on target for our coveted P13 place, which we have taken in the last 2 races. But Harry's getting a bit wavy on these tyres, so maybe he's just getting bored, or maybe he's just not good on these tyres, or I don't know. But I'm feeling, so look how slow I go through Pouon, but even then I'm feeling I can have him. So I'm going to get a good run in through Pouon. He's going to go wide. I'm going to feint on the outside and then dive to the inside. Very Ricciardo-esque move there. And get that one done. I was happy about that because it was literally the only overtake I actually made in the race, I think. So that was nice. We're going to have 1 sector left to keep that position. So it shouldn't be too tricky. And as you can see, the Flying Finn has won the race. Yeah. But right now, it's all about the battle for P14 between myself and Harry D. Is he going to try a Mateo move into the bus stop? No, he's not. I was really expecting a dive bomb there, but never mind. Going to come round the final corner and cross the line for P14, which is then going to get promoted to P13. Absolute brilliant drive there to P13, because Hamilton's... don't know what happened to Hamilton's ghost car. It got chucked down into 14th, but and actually it put Rapids, who's the host and commentator, put him in the in that Mercedes for some reason. But I also looked at the doc. I checked the ULC doc, and it says I finished 14th, which technically I didn't, since Hamilton's car was disconnected and got put behind me. So I'd like to be given that P13 ULC, if you don't mind. If you could just change that on the doc, because I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys probably in a few days' time when I upload Monza, which is an absolute cracker of a race. I can tell you now. So yeah, peace out, guys.